today's world, sometimes being seen as successful carries a Wall Street job, six-figure salary, and decked out in the classiest of bespoke suits. To swap that perception, leave that lifestyle, and for perhaps a more dependent job, less lucrative and not looking dapper, is somewhat of a no-brainer. Well, here on Not Your 9 to 5 show, we explore fascinating individuals making tremendous strides in their bid to pursue passion, regardless of whether they eke out fortune. Today, we travel 71 kilometers from Lagos to Ogun State in search of a young man who discovered a rather unique talent and leaves everything for it. Hakeem Onilogbo is his name, and unarguably Nigeria's most talented special effect makeup artist.
My name is Hakeem Onilogbo. Due to the job I'm doing, I'm being called Hakeem Effect. So a special effects makeup artist from Nigeria, West Africa. So award winning, so I've won different type of awards. So while growing up, because I was born in Ibadan, so in the late 70s, due to the fact that while I was young, I didn't know the implication of my birth certificate, so which reads Hakeem Onilogbo. So instead of Hakeem, so I've been going about with these certificate all about since all these years. So until when it's now dawned on me, at times when I'm being called for an audition or something, so in the midst of crowd and people will say, Hakeem. So I was ashamed, and people will turn their face at my hand with Hakeem. So people started making jest of Hakeem. So I don't even know. There was a time I wanted to even leave the name. I don't even want to bear the name again. So which I have to change to Kimson O'Neil from Hakeem Onilogbo, Kimson O'Neil. So, and I enjoyed the name. A lot of my friends that we finished secondary school in 1996. So they used to call me, Kimson O'Neil, Kimson O'Neil. Until I venture into special effect makeup, until sometimes when I found myself in Nollywood. So the first project I did then, it was a Yoruba film. I tell them my name is Hakeem. So, and we have two Hakeems on set. So anytime they wanted to call Hakeem, they said, Hakeem. So I will rush, and the other guy will rush there too. And the producer and the director, Murphy Afolabi, the guy now said, I'm not calling you. If I want to call you, I will tell you Hakeem Effect. And I said, okay. So another time the guy called, Hakeem Effect. So when I rushed there, so ever since that I now think of it that this is Hakeem that I've been running away from. So they're now calling me Hakeem Effect. Okay, Hakeem Effect. So wherever I go, they ask about my name. I say Hakeem Effect. My educational background and how I venture into makeup artistry. I came from a polygamous family, so which everything was rosy then. So but when it was 1988, my father lost his job. So and that's how it wasn't easy. But I managed to finish my secondary school education in 1996. Which the man couldn't shoulder the kids anymore, so which I had only option to run away from home. So because to feed us it's not easy. So by the time I ran away from home, but out of his struggling, my father struggling, all other siblings that I had, he sent them to universities. So I was the only one that stopped with school certificate. So, but when it got, so after running away from home, sleeping under the bridge, a lot of ups and downs in my life. So because I'm a little bit tough then, so I have to surrender myself and go for an apprenticeship in industrial signage under the tutelage of Mr. Remy Adesada. So Remy Card Art Production Company. So that's where I trained as a graphic artist. So majorly industrial signage. So before the coming of these billboards, the digital billboards. So when we started then, we used hand in drawing. So there's nothing like digital billboard. So we draw with our hands. So that's the company from Mr. Remy Adesada. So he taught me, trained me, I have my diploma in industrial signage. So until 2003 or 4, when the administration of Babatunde Raji Fashola so eradicate the placement of illegal signage on the street of Lagos. So that's how everything finished. So, but God, man proposes and God disposes. So these left me in another phase of life, hunger. There's nothing again. I didn't have any certificate. I'm not a graduate. I'm just a school cert. So that's another phase of my life. How do I venture into Nollywood special effect makeup? I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything. All I know is my painting and my brush. While I was young, I happens to be a dreamer. He said, if anything is going to have the gift, if anything is going to happen to me, or somebody is going to die, or something is going to happen, God is going to reveal it to me in my dream. So it's very constant. So if anything is going to happen, so I see it. So when I lost everything I had on traveling, 2006, when the eradication of the signage, everything, so I put my money in traveling, UK. So when I came back, so I didn't have anything on me again because I sold all my properties. So by the time I came back, I was sleeping in a buka, in a kiosk, so with my siblings there because they were living with me when I was okay. So when I had lost everything, I didn't have any option than I just found myself in one church. So I just gave my life to Christ, this and that. So the Conquerors Assembly in Akonjo then. So when the pastor laid his hand on me, so prayed for me, that night, the man that used to come to my dream, the man came, and the man prophesied that if I can follow him, he's going to announce me to the world. I was saying, he said, I'm going with my people, my family. He said they are not my people, that if I can follow him, that he's going to give me something that the world will celebrate me. He said, what do I have as talent? I said, I can draw. He said, that's not what I deposited in you. I started crying. So because we were Muslim, so my siblings, they woke me up. Why are you crying? I said, this is what I saw. They started laughing at me. So I went to the pastor again. I started going to church. After that, the man will now be coming every night to teach me how to cut, how to do this. I was scared. I didn't know what that was. I called them again, my siblings. I said, one man used to come. He will cut hand. I don't know. He said, they started laughing. They just like laughing at me. They call me pastor, go and sit down. So it was then, we were trying to do a convention then, and the leader of the group, MC Reason, is a popular comedian now. So the guy now said, Baba, can't you do something like the cut leg or accident, someone without hand or cut? And that thing, I just relate that thing that a man used to come to teach me this thing now. And I said, what can we? I said, hey, I can do it, but I didn't know what to start with. What will I use to start those things? And in the church, the sanitary keepers, a boy, so as we were deliberating among the group that, what are you going to use? Okay, why can't you use this? Why can't you use this? Why can't you use that? And a small boy was just running. He just ran into our midst, and I said, use this thing now. and one of us beat the boy. And the boy was crying that the mother came, that, why will you beat my... And God, I just hear the sound that is, I cause confusion so that you can start with these things. What I've been teaching you, this is what you will start with. There is God though. I had that thing and I had peace. So on that convention day, so I performed that thing and everybody, they were, wow, the pastor, everybody said, hey, life something, they caught somebody's hand. And I said, yes, that's when I started practicing it. And he used to come every night, teach me something. When he teaches me, I try it, I experiment, I just say, wow. I learned everything on set, what I'm doing. So at times when someone just called me that I'm going to do a job, at times I might not know what to use to do that job. But the Spirit will come to me and tell me, before you move from here to that place, you will see what you are going to use to achieve that thing on the floor. And I'll be moving. As I'm going, I just see that thing, and it will bring that thing that I'm going to use. Okay, pick this thing, you pick it, okay, you can use it. When I get on set, it will turn to miracle, and people say, this boy is good, who trained you? Most of the jobs that launched me out are the experiments I did on my own. Not so job that announced me. So I do a lot of experiment. Even if I'm on set, if I'm being paid, half or 3/4 of the money, I use it to buy materials. I experiment. I don't want to know what's my gain or something. I develop myself to invest. So it's those things that launched me out. So most of the transformation, like replication, like I've done Buhari, Mandela. So no one, I don't know what's happening to our filmmakers. The one that is not gory, they don't go for it. So it's only those gory, cutscenes and that's what they love. So, but I've done fat suit, I've done a lot of things, but it depends on the script. If an opportunity shows that if I have to do a job of 9 to 5 job, I've mastered myself so to cope with the work the work God gave to me. So because it was the one that gave me this, so I don't have to do 9 to 5 o'clock job again. So I can't be waiting for salary. I can't. Even if I see money now, before a month, I didn't see another one, before I see another one, I'm pleased with it. I was a painter, so a graphic artist. So I do portraits, so I do paintings, branding of vehicles, like working with Nigerian breweries and all of you're branding their vehicles, Fuman. So those are the kind of jobs that I do before. In anything you do, you must have a brand. So the hair is part of the effect in Hakeem effect. So wherever you see Hakeem, you must see the effect of the hair. So if the effect of the hair is not there, that's not Hakeem effect, maybe it's Hakeem. This is not your regular 9 to 5. This is my life. Hakeem effect.
And we move from special effects to another form of creativity. We meet Chuks Oteke, dentist turned inventor. Yeah, you heard right. He constructs video production equipment. Let's meet him.
I like to get handy. That's just one of the features I think I possess. I've always loved the arts. I love filmmaking. I do a lot of filmmaking. I picked up that skill along the line when I was in med school, And after med school, I decided to pick up a career in filmmaking while I do dentistry on the side. But with the Nigerian factor, you have to just face one, So I picked filmmaking because it allowed me to express my creativity, and I had an opportunity to share how I felt. So I felt I should just pick filmmaking and stick to it. I've been a filmmaker for a few years now, about 6 years. And being a filmmaker in Nigeria, we are faced with a lot of problems, technical problems. Acquiring equipment, acquiring cameras, acquiring the right tools to tell good stories. So I thought to myself that, how do I solve these problems? I didn't have money to rent high-end equipment. And if I don't have this equipment, I can't tell these stories. So one day I decided to make one or two things that would help me solve my problem. I started making DIY sliders. From my designs, I started having friends asking, can I have you make this for me? Can you do this for me? And I'm like, okay, we can start a business from this. So I decided to go back to my books and read a little about engineering techniques, read a little about manufacturing, read a little about getting products that customers would buy. So in that process, I began the journey that has brought me to where I am now. This is a manual milling machine, one of my earliest machines. I call her my baby girl. So what it does is it helps me, make precise cuts on metal, accurate cuts with. So I gauge it with this scale, and so I move the piece into the material like this, and this motor. So right now the motor is on, controlled by belts and a very big DC motor behind. Then I put some oil. This is actually cooking oil to make the cuts very, very neat. So you turn it off, remove the vise, and there you have it, a beautiful piece of metal cut. These aluminum chips can be very, very deadly. So we always advise to put on our goggles, safety first, and make sure your hands are clear of moving power tools like this so it doesn't amputate your hand. Yeah, a lot of people ask me that question. How come? How did it happen? You're a medical person. What are you doing with the camera? I am somebody that likes to follow my passion. I love dentistry. I love to put a smile on people's faces. But I also love to shoot movies and tell stories. And with the way the economy is, you sometimes don't find yourself doing what you actually read in school. So many factors. There's the socioeconomic factor, there's politics, there's so many things affecting it. And we can't just sit back and be expecting to get jobs. We can't just walk into a hospital and they say, wow, you're good, let's employ you. Sometimes you have to make a way for yourself. And filmmaking was the closest for me, or rather was the easiest for me. I started shooting wedding for videography. I started doing short films. I started doing a lot of things that I found that they were fetching me money, little by little. So it's only understandable why I had to choose filmmaking, because it was paying the bills at the time. So I gradually shifted from dentistry. It's not like dentistry is bad, don't get me wrong. Dentistry is really cool. You get to meet people, you get to put a smile on people's faces, but filmmaking was more practical and it paid the bills better than dentistry. Africa is not big in production, in the aspects of industrial manufacturing. We're not that grounded. We lack infrastructure. There's so many things, but we have potential. We have the will. That's something I observed. So when I go to the market and I request for a particular material, the owner of the store tells me, "In no deal, but I fit get am." And the thing is, they do whatever it takes to get you that material that you ask for. We might not have the technicalities of manufacturing, but we have the will. And that's something that's keeping me going. Because there's some materials I ask for and I can't get it. It's very, very saddening. But I do not give up because I can't find this material. I don't say, okay, I can't make you a slider. We look for alternatives. I had to build a machine that accurately cuts metal. So we don't have, your first material, your first piece is 3 mm shorter than the second piece, and so on and so forth. So it's like a robot that knows how to accurately cut these things for you. It's called a CNC machine. You know, and I checked the prices online, how to get a CNC machine that could cut metal. They were very, very expensive. And as a black man, I have to think of how to build these things myself. For instance, I'm building a very affordable camera cage to, one, protect your camera from, this is a Blackmagic design, cinema camera, protect the camera from scratch, and also give the camera the ability to carry other accessories like your microphone, your lights, your battery pack. The Blackmagic is not ergonomic in design, so it requires something like this. So all of these holes are gonna have threads, so you can screw in a light, a battery pack, or a microphone or anything. And we are trying to put a feature where you can use the average 3-axis gimbal that is available anywhere, like a Ronin. You can mount a Ronin to this. You can mount a Zhiyun crane to this. You can mount a DJI Osmo. You know, technologies that are already existing, want to incorporate it into our designs. Sourcing raw materials is very hard, very, very hard, because these markets are scattered around Lagos. So you want to buy aluminium, you go as far as Oshodi. You want to buy bolts and nuts, you go to Lagos Island. You want to buy acrylic or glass, you go to Mushin. You know, it's just scattered around Lagos. And traffic. Lagos traffic is crazy. Okay, so right now, I had to wake up early so that I can head to the market to get a few supplies. We want to make a couple of sliders for like about 3 clients, or rather 3 customers. Yeah, Lagos traffic as usual. So we are now at the market, the Idumota market, the commercial heartbeat of young businesses in Lagos. This is where you buy all the materials, from fashion, accessories, from dressmaking accessories to industrial supplies to plumbing. Lagos has it. You have to keep pushing on the horn because this place gets really busy and you don't know when you will go and hit someone. How fun, huh? Daddy there around? Yeah. Daddy, morning, sir. No milling bits. Yeah, so this is one of my customers. She supplies me. No, she calls me, no, I call her customer. That's how they do it in Nigeria. The person that is selling to you is the customer. The startup ecosystem in Nigeria has evolved because we have so many investors eyeing the country. I know we have a lot of challenges. We have issues. We have power issues. We have political issues. We have socio-economic issues. We have so many. We even have spiritual issues. But for the past 10 years, there has been this mindset shift of the average Nigerian youth from a 9-to-5 job to a get self-employed, build something, sell, make your money, you know. they now think like entrepreneurs. And the entrepreneurship space in Nigeria is growing. So it's growing. But we need to, there's a lot of things we need to work on. There are so many things we need to work on. For instance, we need to enhance access to finance. There's money in Africa, but there's no money in the entrepreneurship space. We need to enhance, we need people to come in, to invest in businesses. We need to build these ideas because we have the will. I've met friends in this industry that keep me going. They have business ideas, but they lack money to fund it. Secondly, we need business education. A lot of us have beautiful business ideas, but we don't even know what it means to write a short business plan on how to get this business running. So we need to open business schools, we need to open business training centers, we need to open business hubs where people can come in and learn how to build a business, not just I have a solution, I know how to solve a problem. We need to build these things, to build these ideas to make them big businesses. So if we can work on our finance and business education, I'm sure the entrepreneurship system in Africa will grow. It takes me about 2 days to make this.
I don't know, normally if we are to go by the rules, maybe you're supposed to go and then you come back and by then we must have deliberated, but I just can't wait for you to go. I'm already interested in what you're doing because it concerns my industry and I see us moving forward with people like you.
Look at this beautiful slider. Look at this beautiful slider. Made by a Nigerian for the Nigerian motion picture industry. Chooks, say hello.
We are building technology advancements in our houses, and these guys out there don't see them. So if you can have an avenue where all these things can be showcased to the world, for instance, on platforms like this, where they see that actually young Africans are doing these things, I'm sure it will motivate other young Africans to want to build and be better at what they do. Another thing is our educational system. We need to infuse entrepreneurship to the rawest form in education. I mean, from the early stages of primary 1, primary 2, primary 3, we need to start teaching them the business idea, how to invent stuff, how to make things and solve their own problems. That's how they do in America, that's how they do in other advanced worlds. They have incubators for young, talented inventors to come in, bring ideas, build things. So if we can imbibe it from the cradle, from when the youths are children, as they grow older, they would build on this and start inventing things and probably change Africa. I'm Chooks Oteke, the CEO of Film Anatomy, a film equipment manufacturing startup based here in Lagos, Nigeria. And this is not your 9 to 5, but it's my life.